Boom. Pally, what
Boom.
is up?
What is up?
How are
What
you?
is up? I'm all right. I'm all right. I mean, I hate the way I look right now. I hate the way I look.
I like the blonde hair on you. You were rocking some Jonah Hill vibes. I mean, Jonah Hill just released a picture of himself yesterday with blonde hair.
Yes, I
And
saw
I didn't know if
that.
I've missed some sort of
It came
thing.
oddly after mine. I'm not saying that Jonah like saw what I looked like and was like, "Oh, I can pull that off too," as if I'm like a template for
Right.
like, like what he
Fashion.
sees. Yeah. I'm not saying that he did that, but I'm saying it's
We got to
definitely close. It's definitely
check the
close.
receipts.
I mean, I would love for some people to check the receipts on this.
I mean,
if the audience is going to help us out tonight, it would be great to find out like just when I showed my picture, like how scientifically could Jonah have done it when I posted
I mean,
the picture?
was it forwarded to a hairdresser instantly to get that done for the big reveal yesterday?
Was I on Jonah's mood board? Was I on Jonah's?
Well, his is
on
updating all the
Jonah's
time.
mood board? Yes,
By
of
the
course.
way,
Well,
that's
of
an app.
course.
That's an app that we should all do, a digital mood board. As you see things on Twitter and Instagram, you could just pop. I guess, is that Pinterest? Is that what Pinterest is? I don't know.
I don't know, but I know that mine would just have like 50 pictures of Bernie Madoff.
By the way, I will say this. You are able to pull off this look. Like when I saw it, I was like, I don't know what it's for. I don't know if it's in earnest, but you pulled it off.
I mean, it's for a job, like obviously it's not in earnest because I have a life and I
sure.
Which is the problem with walking around like this is that like, I don't know, like certain things are, you take for granted certain things when you have like, hair that doesn't stand you out, or a look. Like anytime you have a look that like people gravitate towards, it's a bummer to me.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I had a mustache for season 2 of Black Monday.
I remember that
full-on Tom Selleck mustache. And that was like, I went from hating it to really embracing it and then to being sad it was gone. But it was like, I felt like I needed to apologize. Like the mustache was making its entrance before everything else.
Yeah, I just like forget. Like this morning, I went to drop my daughter off at school and they stopped me. It was like early and I was like, and I was like, oh no, I'm Gigi's dad, it's Adam. And they were like, oh, and I was like, I know. Like, and then like your day has started and you're already apologizing. Like that can't be good psychologically.
No,
to have your day started
and it's affecting your kids on some level. Like, why are you doing this? Why have you done this? And they may not be able to articulate it. But
they are.
Yeah, they're seeing something.
Mine are 100% able to articulate. My son has taken to calling me Pikachu, but it's like fun for him. So he now does it like all the time since I came home in front of his friends. He gets like a kick out of it. Like I picked him up from football the other day, and he was like, "Hey, it's my dad Pikachu," and I was like,
"Oh no,
all right." Like I'm now the butt of like 9-year-old jokes.
My 4-year-old has seen. They're in LA, no big deal. There's been a couple of billboards of Black Monday, and I have hair on that show.
I've seen them.
Very, very excited to be on a billboard. Always, nice to be up there. And
huge. Your haters are having a horrible month.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I live for. But my son saw it, and he doesn't really know that I wear a wig on that show. But it's only proven to him that like I am like it is like reinforced that I'm bald to him. So now I'm bald dada. I'm constantly called bald dada because there's the pictures of me. I have hair, so I'm bald dada to him.
It must be psychologically. I mean, like, look, our kids are no way around it going to be fucked up. We're trying hard, but like there's just no way. That is a given. Like once you know what I mean? Like once you have kids and then your job becomes like mostly their trauma. And I feel like looks, as strange as it sounds, like there's a certain element in my household of vanity that my job has put forefront that my kids, I notice, they have now. You know what I mean?
Look, I mean, we're all we're trying to do as parents is minimize how fucked up we make our kids. I think everybody across the board, but when you're doing these drastic changes or coming home or being in weird spots, like when my kids wake up for school and I'm coming home from work, it just only opens up a world of questions that they're trying to reconcile with.
Oh my God. I mean, I've had straight up discussions about the industry in depth that are embarrassing. Like when I've been with my son and a friend and he'll ask me, how come I'm only in a little bit of Sonic?
Yeah, why not more? Why not? Why would you take that opportunity?
Yeah, and you're like, well, that was the job I was hired to do. Followed up by, well, it's so small.
But by the way, stay tuned for Sonic 2, because when you do a good job, you actually get more to do.
Right. So as I tried to explain, I was like, have you ever heard of Bruce? First thing I said to this kid, this sweet 8-year-old boy, I was like, listen, you ever heard of Bruce Almighty? He was like, no, what's that? And I was like, okay, Steve Carell.
Yeah.
And I tried to break it down for him. He was like, who's that?
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad to be back with you. If you don't know, this is a show where Pally and I, we look at your tweets. We try to help them be better. We kind of create a little bit of an informal writer's room. You all play a part here to help make these tweets better. There's a lot of Pally love going on in the chat right now. I think a lot of people have just been binging on Happy Endings, which is now on Netflix.
Yeah, we're getting that nice Netflix bump.
Yeah.
10 years late. Love it. Love it.
Look, at least you get on Netflix. Black Monday, it's like you got to pay the $9.99 for Showtime, which means you have access to all 15 of their shows, their originals.
I love that Showtime is like, we're going to be the real like bougie streaming app. We're going to cost double Disney and give you way less.
If you want the home of the Borgias, get ready. Borgias, Ray Donovan. We got them all. The full
Duchovny's Red Shoe Diaries.
Oh man, I would have been psyched if I was a kid to get access to that.
Oh my God, Duchovny really did an amazing career thing when you think about it, because he came in the game straight up softcore porn. He was a softcore porn actor.
And where his career has gone is amazing. He's a novelist. He's in a band.
A songwriter.
Oh yeah, he's got. I mean, his novels are apparently very good. Like, they're well reviewed novels. I did not know that he was he's on all fronts. He's working.
It's crazy too, because usually it would be like you would assume a career like that is like, all right, he's in New York in the early 80s, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's struggling as an actor. They call him. They're like, you want to do this thing? He's like, fine, I'll be on Showtime. I don't know what that is. And then it's
Zalman King. Yeah. Well, it's like
Zalman King.
and it really is like that medium thing where it's like, it's titillating. It's like just an elevated Hallmark movie or like a Lifetime movie. It's like, so there's this, but it's like, it's still that level of like acting and like thriller-esque nature to it. But it's like,
all I think of when I think of those are a couple of things. Like, anytime there's like an oral, like it was time for someone to give someone oral, they did it at like their belly button.
Yeah.
Like, the head was so high. I don't know if that was because they the way
use your imagination, man.
They had to shoot it, but it was like everybody's dick started in their belly button. That was one thing.
God. But that was confusing as a kid. You didn't know.
It was so confusing because like it was like you were just getting a glimpse. And the other thing I remember, I don't know why, like there's just this image that I have of like 1980 fake boobs, like fake, I don't want to use like crude language, like fake breasts.
Yeah.
Doing this motion, this kind of like Shakira.
It was,
and it's like up close. It's like so up close on these like rock hard implants. You know what I mean? I don't know why I have it in my head. And then the movement is like that. I don't know why that is stuck in my head.
I think it feels to me like it was porn directed by non-porn directors. They didn't really know, but they wanted to make it like, I don't know. But as a kid, that was as close as I could get to anything. That was
it's
really
such a bummer now, because as a director, you can go back and you can do anything. There's no rule. You could do, as long as you have the skills. You're now Baldwin's hosting a game show.
Yeah. All right. So we have collected a bunch of your tweets from the Discord. You go on our Discord at discord.gg/Paul Scheer. That's where you can collect all these. And we got a bunch of good ones today.
I'm so excited. And
I'm excited.
So nice. I want to thank everyone for being here on such short notice.
Yeah, we really just
so nice to have you guys.
Popped everybody in. So here we go. Boom. First tweet out of the gate. I'm going to add it to the stream. Let's see here. Okay. I think this is the way we go. I'm learning my tech as we go. Boom, there. All right. So this is from Oh Boy. Saw a list of 10 movies you need to see before you die. I'm going to avoid watching them and live forever.
I love this. I love this joke. It's really solid. I feel like we can assist this person with just a little bit of cutting. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain element of like, this joke is too wordy, right?
I agree with you. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd have to see it again on the stream.
I'm gonna pop it up. Here we go. Yeah.
I think for me, it would be like, saw a list of 10 movies you need to see before you die. Skipping them all. Gonna live forever.
That's what you want to do. Yeah. Avoid watching is too wordy. That's where we're really at.
And I'm going to. It's like not to get too in the weeds, but there's something about I don't know what it is lately as I get older, but when I'm reading stuff and characters say stuff like I'm going to, or I did, or like, there's these like conjunctions and I'm like, I don't need that in my writing.
Pull it out.
You know what I mean? Pull it out. I'll imagine how you got there. You know?
I mean, here's where I would have maybe have done it, but I think yours is the better cut, but I'll just say it for pitching sake. I would say life hack. If you never watch the top 10 movies you need to see before you die, you'll live forever.
Love that. I think you could do that. Yeah. I think you could do similar to that. I think you could go quotations.
Yeah.
10 movies you need to see before you die. Life hack. Skip them.
There you go. Again, minimal.
It's like
words,
minimal wording. Yeah.
This is Mamet. Mamet loves the show, by the way. David Mamet watches every week.
So does Zoja. All the Mammoths love it. You know why? It's because it's ABT.
I like tweeting. All right, here's another good one from our friend Jack, a Black Monday super fan here. Jack writes, Maskfishing as a noun. He's defining it: the act of being catfished due to a person's face mask.
Okay, so this is kind of tricky to me.
Good idea, again, right? Like funny,
great funny idea. And you know it's a funny idea. And thank you, Jack, for sending it. You know it's a funny idea because you kind of like heard this premise bubbling a couple times. Like I've heard a couple people go like that mask reveal, you know, is like the big kind of thing. So it's like that is bubbling around this, this kind of joke. I don't know.
Because it's like, look, it's playing around this idea. Like there's a person that I recently worked with and I only saw this person in a mask. And then I saw their Instagram page and I was like, oh, I was surprised. And there was a conversation around a group of us. They were all like, we were surprised. And that is, all right. So what is that? I need
to know. I need to know what was so shocking.
I think that I just built the bottom half of his face differently. Like I just it was.
You didn't assume a jaw? What could have been there? That was so crazy.
I just think that we built like. The thing that was funny about it is that the three of us had the same reaction. Like we confided in each other.
Right,
to be
of course. Like,
And I think that there is something about this idea that like geez, like,
I think a lot of breakfast cereal mascots have that with Count Chocula. You can't. You don't know.
You don't know. I mean, normally Count Chocula looks totally normal.
I can say this is true. We're joking about that, but I can say like in this era of mask wearing, if someone comes to your door wearing a mask with slicked back hair, maybe a little bit of a widow's peak and a vaguely European accent and asks for you to ask them to come in.
You cannot let them in. Do not invite them in.
Do it. I know you can't see the bottom half, but it could. You don't want to get in that situation where you
right now COVID deaths down, vampire
deaths
up,
way up, and not just and everywhere too, like on the subway, because if you invite them into your space.
That's the whole thing. People don't realize that. You think you're holding the door open to be polite, but you are inviting them into the subway car, and then you hence open the door to attack.
It's over.
Very specific to inner cities, but that is something to watch out for. Someone did put this one, said, I've been flirting with someone all week, finally saw them without their mask. Turns out I was masked.
I like that a lot.
I like that too.
That's good. I mean, I think again, like mask fishing, like you can do this with a meme, like I was mask fished, and then put like a picture of like a Walking Dead zombie where like the jaw is like, you know what I mean? Like I feel, to me, the real star of that tweet, the real like kind of is mask fishing. And everything else, and everything else is kind of shoe leather.
Well, here's what I would say. Like, is there a joke to be played? Because catfishing is an intentional thing to capture people, and maybe there's a thing here. It's like not like, all right, it's gonna be too wordy, but not happy with the bottom half of my face. Only have about a month left to mask fish the woman of my dreams or the man.
I like
of my
that.
Dreams. You know, it's like
I like that. Yeah,
because there's
like or like is it weird in my dating apps? Is it mask fishing if in my dating apps I have a K99 on?
Yeah, that's good too. You see, like I feel like you need to like, because I think the idea being like people aren't. You need to put the intentionality. It's such a stupid conversation, but you need to put the intentionality behind the mat. Like catfishing is intentionally trying to mess with you, so you have to put the intentionality behind mask fishing. I think.
I agree, and that's why I think that if this was my joke, I think I would end somewhere like you're saying in the run of like, is this behavior mask fishing? Right.
Yes.
Because you're like saying you're describing the behavior, and then the punchline is the funny word.
Right. You don't want to start at the funny word. You have to like walk them into it. I think that's right.
Yeah, totally. I have one.
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get people don't know this, but Adam always brings one to the table, and then we release it into the world. So
So this is one that I wrote this and pulled it way back.
Okay.
About a couple weeks ago, and now I'm like ready. I'm ready to put it up. So I'm gonna hold it up into the thing so everyone can kind of see it.
Okay.
Is that okay?
It's kind of okay, but I think we need you to read it just in case.
I will read it, but I want everyone to kind of see it. There it is. Okay. So the tweet says, congrats to the weekend for taking home 5 Juno Awards. And I got to hold on. Congrats to the weekend for taking home 5 Junos. And congrats to me for staying home with the same old Junos. I want to tweet it as is, like almost as
I mean, it's good.
As like like, hey everybody, let's not forget that I'm still around.
Okay, first of all, somebody says it's a verbal only joke, and I want to talk about this because I think what you could do.
Yeah, please. I like this. What great feedback from Jonah.
Yeah, there's verbal puns. People say, and it's an Instagram story, only you can do it. But I would say this. There's a part of me that would make this fun for the reader is when you wrote Junos, you just pluralized Juno, like Junos. So people would have to read it, and then they would laugh at it that way. Because if you wrote Junos, does anyone think that could work? Like,
what about this?
Yeah.
What about this? Because I like where you're headed.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you looking at the way that I wrote it and knowing that notes need to come through that. Yeah. What if I wrote, and congrats to me for staying in my home with the same old JU space NOSE. So it's like spelling it like the thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There could. I mean, there's another. Yeah. Now, when were the Junos? That's my other question. Because if it's too old,
it's a little. I will say, I think they were about a month ago.
Okay.
I remember reading that headline about a month ago.
Because there might be something to be like, for most artists to win a Juno is a great honor, but for me, every.
I'm gonna send this out because I want to see how it does while we're on the.
I agree
on the show because I think there might be some negative feedback that might be fun to.
I like it. People say, as a Canadian, I approve this tweet. People say keep it in the drafts. All right. People said it was only about a week ago, so I think it still works. Let's pop it out there and see what the world.
It's out there, and let's see if the ACLU comes for me. This is one of those ones. Where
no, that one's a fun. I mean, that's a fun one. I think that's like that's
Israel right
that's
now.
playful.
Jews, Israel, it's tough stuff. It's like.
Now, what would you do if Biden liked it? Well, Biden gets in there like
Well, if Biden liked it, I think I would have to quote the Biden liking it and go and write like a thing that's like, I'm an American Jew. I'm not an Israeli Jew. I don't know what's going on with that government. You have to be able to separate, like.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do Russian Americans know what's going on with Russia? I don't know,
All right. All right. Let's see. There's some good ones in here. I like this one. This is a very simple one. I want to kind of show not a before and after, but I think one is really funny, and I feel like the next one after it I don't get. So I feel like it here. So this is a two-parter, not meant to be read together, but here we go. Thirsty Bird writes, "A sloppy Joe is just a burger that hasn't gotten its act together." I like that one. I feel like it's simple, it's clean, right?
I like it too. I have a small
okay.
No pun intended, beef with it.
Okay.
Which is sloppy Joes in different regions mean different things.
Whoa, that I didn't know.
There are some places where a sloppy Joe sandwich is actually not the ground wet purple meat.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a version of a club sandwich with like turkey, coleslaw, 3 layers of bread, ham. It's like it can also be kind of like
Dagwood. I feel like that's a Dagwood.
Yeah, sure. Some areas will refer to it as a sloppy Joe. So I feel like it's tough. It's like you want to be universal in it.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's a joke. I mean, I don't have it fully yet, but it's like meatloaf is just a burger who's trying to impress you, or like, I mean, not. I think it's like
yes,
something that's a little bit more
counter.
So we all know what meatloaf is. So maybe there is a version of like that meatloaf is like trying to act as if it's better than it's a burger.
Right.
There's something there. People said they've retweeted the Junos thing. People asked, are Molly, welcome back, Molly. Are manwages regional? I think that manwages feel older to me. Again, we talked about this before. Like, are we referencing things that may be too old for people too? Like, are sloppy Joes on the forefront of people's minds right now? I don't know.
To me, a sloppy Joe to me is like a 1970s school meal.
Yes, it feels like that's yeah. I mean,
I don't think many kids who go to like the center are eating sloppy Joes.
I agree. I believe that sloppy Joes are not out and about popular anymore. People wrote, "I'm single and looking for my burger, but only finding sloppy Joes."
I like that. I like that better.
Too.
I mean, like, there's something about it that's like, at least you're taking the reference and you're putting it into your own new joke. I like that a little bit better than just the play on what sloppy Joes are.
And here's a pitch on Molly's joke, which I like. Molly wrote, manwich. Someone says 2021. Where's my womanwich?
I love that.
I like that. And again, you're going to lose a little bit of your audience because it's going to be a little bit of a thinker.
And then there are going to be people who are like, manwiches are for men.
Yeah. and I mean, like a manwich, womanwich, I'm all on board with that joke. I think that's a pretty solid joke there. All right. So now this is the other joke from Thirsty Bird that, because I did think this was a funny idea, good premise. And I'm just showing this for, because we have a lot of double submissions. So this is his other tweet. Cambridge Analytica paving stones with armor tech. They're always stealing your data from you. First of all, I'm going to say that Cambridge Analytica is also, the barrier of entry with Cambridge Analytica.
Cambridge Analytica what were they again? Were they taking a census?
I thought Cambridge Analytica had something to do with like, with the election stuff, right? Or like there was.
I thought it was the census.
Data leak. Okay. A big Facebook data leak. Okay. So Facebook data leak. All right. So people are like, is it a joke? People say that Cambridge Analytica is more obscure than Sloppy Joe's. People are saying Steve Bannon stuff. Is it a joke? I mean,
it's definitely the type of thing where like I wouldn't feel comfortable having the words Cambridge Analytica on my feed. Like, if you want to have some like be associated with January 6th, I'll take it right now. Start talking about Cambridge Analytica.
Well, by the way, here's something that really
I like that.
Now that would be a great like. So if Thirsty Bird did tweet that and you tweeted that on top of it, then it becomes
that's perfect. How to be a reply guy. That's how to be a reply. You get that reply in there, you quote that reply.
Yeah, it said that Cambridge paving stones is even higher level of entry. Yeah, this is one that I want to get to the bottom of it because very rarely do I not get where we're going. Like sometimes I'm like, I roughly understand it, but this one I'm like,
this really does feel like words put together.
Yeah. Okay.
Paving stones. Paving stones with armor. What does that mean? Is that a term? Paving stones?
Oh, okay. So I guess there's a song. No one's ever heard of the Cambridge Paving Stone song. Is that part of it? I don't know. We're looking to the chat to help us here because we don't know what the answer is.
It feels like honestly I found hieroglyphics and I'm looking at them like I can't make heads or tails of this.
People are like, but a religious thing. Yeah, it's a brand. It sells paving stones. I don't know what. All right, this is. I guess what we're saying is this one's too. When we have about 300 people in here not knowing what we're talking about.
What the specific is, it's like it's time to switch your specific.
Yeah, I think so. Too niche. Yeah, don't get this reference. Yeah.
I want to see how my tweet is doing.
Yeah, how is it?
It's doing okay. I got a couple likes. A couple, no one I really admire. No one I really admire yet.
All right.
But it's certainly striking a chord.
Now, if you release that the night it came out, that's a surefire joke. Like that's the other part of it.
Yes.
Sometimes it is about the moment in which, the timing.
I want to ask you a question. We've talked about this before, not to like totally shift gears here, but I would love to hear what the room has to say about this because I was dwelling on this today. Like, so I wanted to put a plug out today.
Okay.
But I felt kind of like insecure about putting the plug out because it wasn't my show, and I was like trying to be like supportive of the show, but I didn't want people to think that I was like taking ownership of the show. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want people to think it's like it's my bag, but I wanted to plug it, and I felt a sort of paralysis from it.
Well, I will tell you, I believe I saw one of your tweets about it. Was it on Instagram? Like the show that you were on the finale of, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I was like really paralyzed on how to, you know what I mean? Because like, I kind of had a feeling I knew the way it was going to turn out, but I also didn't want to be like out in front of something that was not mine, and sometimes because it's your feed, it's your feed. It feels like it's all yours. You know what I mean?
It's tricky, right? Because the person that you're doing the show for, and again, this is a very niche concern for most people, but they want you to be plugging the show, right?
It is a niche concern. Yeah. It is a niche concern. Sorry to interrupt you, but it is also. I find that, especially now, like, it's a niche concern for me to be plugging a show, but people plug their stuff on Twitter all the time.
Absolutely,
that's not like showbiz. And I was wondering if it had like if other people felt that way when they're like, come to this event for whatever or come to this whatever. Do you ever feel, because I sometimes feel like I'm asking too much.
I feel like this. I feel like you supporting something that you're in or telling people about it is a layup in the sense of like you're helping whatever you're doing. Like part of the agreement is, hey, you're going to be in this movie, you're going to be in this show, you're going to let people know that it's on. When you're really proud of it, you can be a little bit, maybe it's not as, maybe it feels a little bit more organic or whatever. Right. But you do feel like I want to thank everybody. I actually thought what you wrote, because it stuck out to me. I was like, well, that's a nice mode. He's like, you said, oh, I'm on the show and you thank the person, but then you said the team behind it, which I often feel like doesn't get like looked at or examined. It's like
I was conscious of that for sure. I was like, I want to make sure that the show knows that I'm like, you know what I mean? But it's always, I think it's interesting, especially on this show, I like to talk about it. But it's like, it's interesting to know when there's like feelings attached, oddly, to everything you post. Like you post, I know that that's how this all works, but like when you post a joke and it doesn't do well,
right,
or it doesn't hit the, like you wanted some people to like it and they don't like it. It's like there's an emotional component to all this, not to like give it too much weight. And I guess I was like wondering to the room like how they feel about that.
All right, so here's what I want to. That's a good question. While people are writing in, somebody wrote here, I find a lot of my favorite new shows and podcasts from Rex from people who already produce and are in the content I enjoy. And I think that's I like doing that when I hear a good show. Like sometimes I'm not involved in shows and I like to plug a show. But I will tell you this. I will say that I do have a little bit of paralysis when I know someone has just followed me and I'm like, now I must live up to some sort of expectation. And then I feel like for me on Twitter, majority of my tweets revolve around LA Clippers, at least during basketball season. And so I am and they're not even very funny. They're they're whatever. They're around the world of it. And for example, an actor on Black Monday followed me, and I was like, oh, I before I tweeted a Clippers thing, I was like, is this what I want them to see? Like that, like, and even though it's, maybe they won't see it, maybe it will go by, but I'm like, am I presenting this to you? I don't know. I mean, it's a tricky.
What is the point, right? Like, for the writer, right? For everyone here writing their jokes, it's very like artistically chicken egg. Like, is the point to get your joke out and then it doesn't matter? Or like, it's like, I got to get this out of my mind or else it's going to just like haunt me if I don't say it. Yeah. Or is it like, I'm putting this out there because it's part of my art. I want to see how it's received, and based on how it's received, I will change.
Right.
You know,
okay, I
like
understand that. Yeah.
There's a certain element of that, people like you're overthinking it.
We are overthinking it. I mean, but
for sure.
I think you're always kind of dealing with it. By the way, talking about overthinking it, I posed a question to Twitter today. By the way, I can read it to you here. So I am going to the Clippers game as soon as we get out of this. I'm going to go to the Clippers game. We'll let you go soon.
You got to get that good parking. Are you going to park? You have
I park underneath Staples Center. I'm just like, let's do it. I'm going to bring my son. Now, here's my question to you. You're a Knicks fan. I am a Knicks fan, but that was my team. All right. So, and I was very upset about their early exit. But I wore an outfit to Game 7. I don't normally wear jerseys, and that's not my thing. But when it's a big game, I'll wear a jersey. I wore an outfit to Game 7. I wore sneakers. I did the whole thing. They won. Do I wear that same outfit again, or do I switch it up entirely?
Are you taking the same sun?
Taking the same sun.
You got to switch it.
I got to switch it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I just think you want to talk about like damaging shit. Like, try to explain a grown man's superstition to a young boy.
Okay.
You're going to back yourself into a corner. There's going to be a million follow-up questions. You're going to be explaining you're going to be like, and that's why Daddy always carries this quarter. It's like, you don't want to be there.
So it no muss, no fuss. We're just going to go to the game. We're going to go in the way, because here's what I thought. I honestly had this thought. I was like, it was lucky for that Game 7, and now I don't need to I don't need to run out the luck. I don't need to be like then I'm going to create a superstition around it. It's going to be I don't like that.
Any luck like that, it always is emperor has no clothes, because inevitably something will happen where you weren't wearing it and they won, and you really just have to be like, well, it really doesn't matter. And you don't want to drag your poor sweet boy into that.
I think you're right. I think you're totally right. He wants to wear pajamas to the game. I'm letting him wear pajamas. I'm not making him recreate anything. So I'm going to
get on the Tron. You're going to get on the Tron tonight.
By the way, I got on the Tron for the first time.
Did they put the thing up?
No.
Put your name?
Let me tell you something about these Clippers. God damn it. I feel like I'm one of the most vocal people about these
basically
Clippers.
Billy Crystal.
I mean, Billy Crystal's not even at the games that I'm at, and Adam Devine never tweets about him. Yeah.
Who is the biggest? I would say it's you. Who's left? It's you.
I mean,
who's the biggest famous person?
I would say that the people that you see there on the reg is you see me, Adam Devine, Billy Crystal. There's a handful of other people. Kenya Barris is there.
Okay.
And Jeff Garland is occasionally there, even though he has great seats.
Yeah. I feel like you and Kenya are really in that group. The people
I was very excited to see Kenya there, and I know that he actually is such a Clippers fan that he has a court in his backyard that he has made into.
It's not like anyone's going to be like. It's not like anyone's going to be like, "Holy shit, is that Payman Benz?"
And by the way, you should. Payman's great, but yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, like I feel like I should get a little bit of like. All I'm asking for, like, they let me shoot the hot dog cannon one year. That was a very big deal. That was a big deal.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. And they
you don't have a license.
They were very nervous about that hot dog cannon, and then I was reprimanded that I shot it too high. But regardless,
I hate it when you do stuff like that. You're like, anytime I've done any bit like that or anything for a stadium, they're like, okay, all you gotta do is go out here and do this, and then you do it, and they're like, you could have killed someone.
I'm like, you're come on, man. Yeah. Enough of that. But all right, so let's in the interest of me getting to the game, and I'll find another. All right,
last
this one I think
is. You gotta go.
All right, this is one that I think you're gonna like because I feel like this one's up your alley. All right, it's another one from Oh Boy, and I'm going to this one because here we go. You need to make like a little Italian pediatrician and have a little patience. I don't know exactly it, but I like I'm like in a. You need to make a pediatrician spelled wrong. That's important for this to fix that. But you need again. I think it's like you need to make like a tree and leave is what they're going for. Right.
That's the thing. But have a little patience.
Somebody says delete the first A.
Okay, all right. So it's like. Patience. Yeah, I may work with that.
Be like an Italian pediatrician and have a little patience. But it also, I'm thinking about little patience now too.
I mean, like a little patient. Like, first of all, they need to spell patience like patience. They can't spell it the front way because that's confusing me. Then I don't know.
Honestly, a lot of notes in this one. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is lighting up the board. Honestly, like it feels like a bit of a microaggression. It's too verbal, but it also feels like a microaggression. Like there's no need to. What are we doing? Taking down the way Italians go? Like, what are we doing here? What's the end game here?
So he said, does it work better without Italian? So you need to make like a pediatrician and have a little patience.
I like
that.
I think it does.
Yeah.
And once again, this is another oh boy, I don't know your ethnicity, but like this is another learning moment where like usually there's no need to tack on a race or ethnicity for a joke like that.
I like that. Oh, I'll tell you a joke that I heard the other day that I told my kids that they loved. People talking about dad jokes, but I read one online that made me laugh. You say, so you have your kid. So dumb. Now I'm just telling a joke that I heard. A kid would say to their parents, I told my kid to do this. Hey, Mom, I'm working on a report for school. Is butt cheek one word, or do you spread them apart? I thought that was a solid
major points tonight when I walk into the room. Like I'm gonna walk into the room all confident.
Yeah.
Oh boy, get ready to go to bed smiling tonight.
All right. Well, Pally, this is great to kind of get back and doing this. I'm glad that you are back, and thank you for cutting it a little bit short. Tomorrow night, I'll be back tomorrow with our Discord because we're playing a game night tomorrow night. We're playing Fall Guys with our game night. But I want to come back and do this with you because we've also talked about maybe doing this with Instagram comments.
I think the next one we should do is Instagram, where I think the next one we do is like send us your posts that you're thinking about, your pictures that you're thinking about posting.
Yeah. All right. We like this.
And we'll do some comments for it. We'll set up your captions.
And so far, this seems like one of the most attended ones that we've done. So this is a great time for us. Really fun. Pally,
let's stick with this time. I love it. Great to see you too. Say hi to everybody for me, and I will see you soon.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.